Hello, and welcome to Rock Your Block, where we outreach and highlight community impact. I'm your host, Larry Laws. Our special guest on today's episode of First Home Alliance is a U.S. Army veteran and artist. He was born in Philadelphia and came to Prince George's County after not long after 1969. He attended Kenmore Thomas G. Pullen Performing Arts Academy and Paint Branch Senior High School during his teens. After graduating high school, he took his talents to the Cochran School of Arts, where he studied for a semester. In June 1979, he made the decision to enlist in the Army and also enlist in the Army's Artist Program. He worked for the military up until June 1979, where he received an honorable discharge. From 1979 to 1983, our guest worked for K Management, the District of Columbia Housing Authority, Wesley Housing Development Company, and other organizations. In 2020, he retired and focused his attention on his artwork and his temporary service at the Liberty Grove. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to our show, Mr. Nathaniel Jones Jr. Hello, is it okay to call you Nate?
Yes, it is. It's good.
Nate, very impressive bio.
Okay.
When I asked you to give me some information to talk about, you had said, well, I don't have a lot to share.
Right.
Yeah, but to get us started, just tell us, the audience, a little bit about you.
Well, I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I went to, elementary school, did 2 years elementary, and then I came to PG County and, did a junior high school and went to, I guess it was Silver Spring, Maryland.
Right.
Did Paint Branch High School and went to went to Corcoran School after that. Corcoran School of Art, did a semester there, and decided I want to go in the military, So I went in the military, did 3 years. Well, actually, call it 6 years, 3 years active,
Right.
3 years inactive. During that time, I, enjoyed it, did my basic training.
Yes. Let's, you going through that bio here, let's back it up a little bit.
All right.
What brought you here to the PG County?
Well,
And
they
at what
had a
age was
riot.
that?
I was probably around 11 years old then. They had a riot up in Philadelphia in '68, Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And my father decided, he had a little oil company there, Jones Fuel Oil Service. So he decided to do something better for the family. Instead of being up there in the city, he wanted to put us more like in the suburbs, in Maryland. So he moved us up here in Maryland.
Yes, and about, so what's your family, what was your family makeup? What was the size of your family?
Well, I have six of us, 3 boys and 3 girls.
That was a big move, getting 6 kids down here.
Yeah, at that time, it was, he was doing pretty good for himself.
Right.
So he decided he wanted to do something better for the family, and, that was a great thing that he did that, because I would have, there was a lot of stuff going on in Philadelphia, gang wars and stuff, and I seen why he wanted us to do better in life, so.
Yeah, so what was the difference? How did you find life here in the D.C. area?
Well, it was a struggle for me too. It depends on what time, because we was a religious family,
Right.
so we couldn't do other things what other kids did. So we, stayed home a lot, studied, worked,
What kind of work? You was a kid. What kind of work you did?
Well, we worked, man, good. Well, back it up in Philly, we used to clean basements. I was the oldest, and my father said, I want y'all to clean a basement. He didn't tell us how to do it. It's me and my other 2 brothers. So we get down there and clean the basement. We swept dirt. We didn't just take everything, like the loose stuff, like paper or, objects and stuff. We moved all that stuff and swept that basement, and it looks real good. We was young.
Yeah. So even at an early age, you was getting your hands dirty.
I was getting dirty.
Yeah, because you have done some dirty work around. I've seen you do some dirty work.
Yeah. Well,
Where you get your hands dirty.
I mean, it's work.
It's work.
Work is good.
Yeah.
The reason why work is good is because it keep your mind occupied.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the strange things that happen in the mindset. You know, you have if you're lacking work or anything or study, then you got wherever it come from is negativity. So when you're working, for me, when I'm working, I'm concentrating on that.
On the job, get the job done.
Right.
Yes. So what, Nate? You know the military. I mean, you're a selected few. It's about 1% of our society that actually join our in uniform now, have served in uniform. So what drove you to join the United States Army?
Well, I was going to Corcoran School of Art.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't complete, the second semester. So my father said, "You're not going to lay around here. You either work or you had to do something." So, I left home and joined the service. That was my next option, because I was
you volunteered. I mean, you was in school, but you chose to volunteer to go into a field.
Yeah, well, after that semester was over, I just decided I wanted to lay around and I couldn't do that.
It wasn't that comfortable. It's like in the nest, it turned the thorns around, right?
Right. So I had to do something about that. So he told me I had to leave, so I had left on my 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I left. He got me a little apartment, but I had a job pumping gas, but it wasn't. It was on call.
Right.
I didn't have no telephone, so I had to make travels to go to see whether I could work that day or not. So that was a lot.
Yeah. That takes a special breed, though. I mean, you still had some. I mean, there's some other jobs you could have done, but this was 1976, correct?
That was 76.
76. That was right after Vietnam.
Well, that was closed. Vietnam was closed.
They was pulling out of Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And so why would you choose to do something where, people are losing their life? They're coming back, without limbs.
Well, I found out that, in the Army, you could, they have benefits and everything. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at that. Plus, on the real side, needed a place to lay my head.
Right.
So when I got to the military, I thought it was okay. It was, but it wasn't at the time. Mm-hmm. Let me explain to you. I joined the military because they had put eviction notice on my door saying, "Nate, it's an eviction. I had to leave."
Right.
So I said, "Well, I'm just going to walk down there on Pennsylvania Avenue and go and join the service." And then they put me up to, we'll put you up the red roof, and I think that's what the name. And they put me in there for 3 days, and I said, "Man, this is very nice. The Army is good, nice, man." They gave me a free meal and everything,
right?
Because I didn't know, how it was going to be. So after that third day, I stayed there. We had, go, got on the cattle truck and everything, and then the drill sergeant was, they just, loud.
Yeah.
Cussing,
yes.
So I said, "Oh man,
that was a little different coming from that religious background, right?"
Well, they gave us a chance to back out.
Right.
I said, "Well, I can't go back because I had to go back too." Because I had a little thing about me that was like independent automatically.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to impose on anyone, family members or nobody. So that's what I did. So I said, "I'm gonna tough this out and just go." And along with the program.
Yes. And so in the military, what was your job? What kind of job did you go in the military for?
Well, that was combat engineer. It was like infantry and bridge building.
Okay.
They had Bailey Bridge, light tactical bridges, like the Ponta Bridge, timber trestles, stuff like that. Right. And we would assemble some of the bridges and everything. It was a temporary thing.
Right.
You know, like a temporary build, like you got to get across here and there, you know, and then blow the thing up, you know, if you had to, you know.
So you build it and blow it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Disassemble.
All right. Now, and so you actually own a home now. And so did you use the VA loan to purchase your home?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to take a little break here, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about, your house and, you know, what you're doing now with that.
Okay.
All right. And how the military was actually an asset in you becoming a homeowner.
Okay.
All right. Super. All right. We're about to take a break. But before we go, I would like to remind you that First Home Alliance is a HUD-approved housing counseling agency serving the National Capital Area. If you are a homeowner, first-time home buyer in need of assistance in home ownership, or a homeowner in need of mortgage assistance, please visit the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development website to find a HUD-approved agency in your area. We'll be right back after the break. Stay tuned. Here we're in Southwest DC at Westminster's Baptist Church, and we're participating here with it's a mental health awareness fair. And so we're here with a lot of other vendors, and we're here to provide that stability and housing, counseling, and education to our community here. And so if you're in the area, please come out and visit us. Of course, visit our website at firsthomealliance.org for more information and our upcoming events. Welcome back. You're watching Rock Your Block. I'm your host, Larry Laws of First Home Alliance. And if you're just now tuning in, we're joined today with veteran artist Nathaniel Jones. Again, Nate, thank you for being here. And also, just before the break, we started talking about the home ownership. And so that's great. That's a question I didn't ask you before in reference to, you know, what loan that you used to actually purchase your home. Tell us a little bit about the VA home loan program that you use.
Well, the VA home loan, I went to the Veteran Administration, and, you know, I had a, you know, they had a, you know, I'm trying to get the word out. I'm trying to get the word.
And so you actually now, who introduced you to the VA loan? Did you talk to a realtor first, or did you talk to a loan officer?
Well, I talked to a realtor because we had a family member that has, you know, to work with the, you know, I think it was Century 21 and everything. Yeah. And they were saying, well, you know, you guys, you know, you're married, you got 2 kids, and y'all doing well, but you know, y'all should get a house, because they was into that business. Right. So I said, well, you know, they right. You know, after we got married, we, you know, just try to get a house, you know.
Yeah. And so when was this?
That was in 92, I believe.
In 92. Okay. Now, did you go through like a home buyer class education to teach you about credit, budget, management, moving into the house, educate you on the home loan program?
No, I didn't.
They didn't educate you on that?
No.
And then say, did you go to anyone they talked to you about foreclosure prevention, or becoming or maintaining successful home ownership? No. They didn't give a class. That's called post-purchase. Right. Pre-purchase is where they educate you on purchasing a home, ensuring budgeting and things like that. And so you didn't receive pre-purchase, you didn't receive post-purchase. However, they talked to you about, let's buy this house, and they somehow found out that you was a veteran.
Yeah, they knew it, yes. And I told them.
You had benefits.
Yes.
Right.
So I had to use, I think I had like 30-something thousand on the eligibility.
Yes.
And that's when I presented that to them, and they went to work after that.
Yes. Yeah. So you had the benefit, and the VA basically guaranteed that loan, and you was able to purchase a home back in the 90s.
Right.
Yes. Now, also, you know, of course, there's education programs and things like that to let people know that, you know, things to be successful in homeownership, and also if you ever, you know, run into crisis, where to go immediately. And so having this home back in the 90s, then come 2011, this is, we had the crisis, the housing crisis that started, you know, around 2008. It affected a lot of incomes. What was going on leading up to 2011?
Yeah, well, I was working with, this time I was working with Wesley Housing Development Corporation. And I've been with them for at least, at that time, it was like 10 years. And I was, you know, they was downsizing on the job. So that's what brought on my financial hardship and everything. So I kind of struggled with that, doing side work, or trying to, because I had lost my job, and the little money that I had saved that was, was diminishing. So I had to do something. So I ran into, your wife, she told me that I have, to help, people that's in this type of situation. So I followed through with that.
So my wife was doing the outreach.
She, because I met her at the thrift store, and everything.
Yeah, because you used to do some shopping, and some of the work that you was doing, you did some repair work, construction work, and plumbing work.
Right.
And so I think you came to the thrift store. Basically, that's where you purchased a lot of your tools and things.
Yeah, they had tools and everything,
Yes.
And I did several jobs, for people and everything. So you got to meet some good people.
Yes.
Your
So
wife
it's not like
the sisters.
the sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not only you was working a full-time job, but you was doing side jobs, plumbing jobs, on-call jobs, and things of that sort, trying to keep your finances, trying to keep your family intact.
Trying to keep it, but then, it didn't hold up too well. So that's when I got in touch with you guys.
Yeah, and so First Home Alliance was able to basically bring you into our family as an alliance,
right,
and help you with that loan modification.
Yeah, they did a wonderful job too. It was real, and it's good to know that you have people that's like that can help. It's good to know that it's in the land today, because if you don't know a certain thing or really inquire about it, you're lost. But then it's really good to know that you have people that outreach that can help people in distress like that.
Yeah. Now, talking to your mortgage company, do you ever try to talk to your mortgage company about lowering your payment to making it more affordable for you and your family? Did you talk directly to them?
Yes.
And how is that process? Was it very easy to speak with them?
It wasn't easy at all. It's you pay or
Yeah.
So I'm just saying I just needed somewhat to deal with my own finances and everything. But then when it fell through, then I just had to do something else when I came to you all.
Yes, well, I'm glad that we was able to provide a service, and so with that, working with First Home Alliance, the nonprofit, how much was they able to reduce your mortgage to make it affordable?
Which one?
Your mortgage went from one payment and you went to a lower payment.
Right.
How much was that lower payment? The difference?
Well, it was like I say if I was paying, it's like around $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah. So it reduced your mortgage payment by $1,000 to make it more affordable for you to stay in that home.
Right.
Yes. And so it was great that you that was able to meet someone that actually helped to refer you to a service that can provide that assistance for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so still maintaining home ownership. And you did an excellent job in maintaining home ownership. Now, things in your life has changed. I mean, I think you retired now, right?
Yes.
But you still work.
I still work.
You retired.
You got to work. When you retire,
right,
you don't retire.
Yeah. And so
still.
Yeah, and of course you have a lot of talent. We're going to talk about some of that artwork that you do, and I know that's the talent there. But just before we get there, we're going to talk about your housing situation, that even retired, working on the side, and now the pandemic hit.
Right.
And so what happened, what went on just recently with the pandemic in your house?
Well, what they say, when it rains, it pours. So I had a situation going on. My wife, she was diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
And at the same time, during the same time the pandemic hit, I was still, I was working, and I had retired, like I think it was 2019.
Right.
I was, drawing my Social Security, trying to hold up everything, but then that fell through too, because I was working for the temp agency.
Okay.
The temp agency was doing pretty well for a minute, but when the COVID hit, then that's when everyone got kind of like in the frenzy. They was afraid.
Right.
So you couldn't go you couldn't go to people, because what I do, I go on units.
Right.
I do work, with residents, do the work.
Yeah.
In
And so what
residence.
happened with that in reference to your mortgage payments? Did you get behind again on mortgage?
I got behind again. I it was like 3 or 4 months, or maybe more. It was around 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months behind.
Behind.
Yeah. Now this time you knew where to go for help.
I knew where to go.
Okay.
But then the strange thing, I was trying to do it on my own thing.
Well, you tried to do it on your own again.
I tried to do it on my own again, and I did some work at the house, right?
Right.
Now you need to use the printer.
Right. You needed to
said,
use my
"What the-"
printer. You come to my house, use my printer, and fax some
I
stuff for your
forgot-
mortgage
I had
payment.
forgot.
You had the papers all balled
Yeah.
up, and you want to use
No, it
my
wasn't
fax. I said,
balled.
what are you doing? I said, don't you know we do that kind of work?
Yeah, I said, that's right. You do all that. Then they took it from there, and I appreciate what First Home Alliance did.
Yeah.
I give thanks to God first
Yeah.
for first and foremost. I give Him all the thanks, because I prayed about this situation that I was going through, and and it's good to know that He set things in the way, because I forgot that you had did that.
Yeah, I sort of forgot too. It was 10 years ago, 11
Yeah,
years ago.
this-
So I had
yeah.
forgot that you had actually, because I don't work directly with a lot of the clients, and so my staff, they do the work. I'm just, just doing whatever.
Right,
but they
right.
do the work, and so they know the clients.
Yeah, sure.
But I really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to step in and help. And but I definitely want you to let everyone know, what was the amount that you was granted to actually bring your mortgage stable this time, the amount of money?
That was like $14,295.
Yes, and that is for a homeowners assistance program that actually we was able to help you get to actually bring you current. And again, I want to say thanks for giving us the opportunity to do that. And Nate do an excellent job with your artwork. I'd like for you to be able to share that with our audience. And I also want to let you know, Nate, I want to thank you for coming in today.
Right.
And I might have to bring you back, because you still got a lot to share.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And thank you for the Home Alliance's, First Home Alliance,
All right, super.
and staff.
And thank you for your service too
Oh,
to our country. I hope you enjoyed this interview with Nathan Jones and found it to be empowering. It is now time to check our inbox and see how we can help rock your block. This is where we share recent questions sent to us from you, our viewing audience, about financial stability and housing. Today's question comes from Woodbridge, Virginia. Mortgage rates are rising. Should I wait for interest rates to decline before buying your home? I'll give you a short answer. The answer is no. Time can actually cost you more. The time in reference to increasing your equity in your home, you're losing that by waiting till a later time. Fall in love with the home, not the interest rate. You can always get out of the rate at a later date. I'm Larry Laws of First Home Alliance, and it's been my pleasure sharing with you our mission and highlighting the impact of our services. If you have questions about financial fitness or how we can help make your dream of homeownership a success, send your question to our inbox and tune in to our next show to see if your question was selected to be shared with our audience. You can easily get more information about our services by visiting us on the web at firsthomealliance.org. Thank you for watching today's segment of First Home Alliance, and join us next time to rock your block.
Glad to know that, some of this stuff about credit and buying houses is written down somewhere. A lot of the times it's always hearsay, like other friends or family members who have bought houses before, but they can never, tell you legit what you need to get done and do before buying a house.
I definitely think this class should be required for all first home buyers, because a lot of times the real estate agent doesn't explain the process to you. So I think this is very important.
It's from the credit up to receiving a loan and the most important thing is the process that you go through when you're buying the house, and there are a lot of process which you don't have idea about that before you take this class.
Speakers who came up and spoke about each section, they were very knowledgeable in their field, and I felt like it was relatable. They didn't just throw out a whole bunch of terms that went over my head, but they really explained it in a way to where I understood it, and I could even explain it to my children, and it was even easier for me to take home and kind of remember and process and apply to my next steps. The process was amazing.
They start first with the class before even finding a lender or agent. So I did all that and I wasn't able to purchase, and then I was like, oh, you know what, there's a lot of information I'm not aware of. Let me just start from the beginning, to put everything on hold. Start from the
Piecing the information together, because you've heard things about the loans and about this and about the credit, but this is like a summary, and it just gives a clear flow of where to go with what you have and kind of building up a plan. So that kind of gives me a whole picture of where I needed to go and how to get there.